Good morning. We're here, I guess, just talking a little bit about our research. I use two major theoretical frameworks, which means that the positive organisational behaviour means I borrow from psychology, positive psychology, but it's all positive. So I'm not interested in showing how badly things are for employees. I'm interested in examining the very, very special attributes that people bring to an organisation that an organisation can use in some way to increase productivity. And I do a lot of my research comparing the practices across public, private, not-for-profit. So I use also a behavioural public administration theoretical framework at times. They're my two frameworks. What do I actually do? I examine, and this is all I do, I examine the attributes of employees and the support mechanisms. And up until about 5 years ago, before there was a thing called positive organisational behaviour, before positive psychology had given us this brand new attribute called psychological capital, all I ever looked at was the role of organisational factors, in particular, workplace relationships. I looked at how I developed a new measure for well-being. I looked at how that affected their engagement. I looked at how that made them feel in terms of autonomy, whether that led to them being more committed to the organisation, whether that made them leave the organisation. That's all I looked at until this new particular variable was discovered. I'd worked with emotional intelligence before, but this just blew me out of the water. This was an amazing variable, and I just couldn't wait to work with it. The reason is because I work with very, very specific employees. The easy stuff are the professionals, because there's a little bit known about them. The hard stuff is the emotional labour. Emotional labour, police, soldiers, nurses, administrative employees. That's the area that there is very little known about. Why? Why is that important? Well, this is going to happen more and more. You're going to go to a hospital and you're going to find out that wards are closed. And the reason is because they can't staff it. Why? Because we're training nurses and they're leaving within 5 years. They don't want to stay. We're training doctors and they're leaving. We're training soldiers and they're getting high rates of post-traumatic stress. And if you have a look in the workers' compensation area, you'll see that the highest number of stress-related claims are to do with police. And so what my aim is to give greater tools to these employees so they can do their job. And that's what psychological capital is. It's something which we're all born with a bit of resilience, a bit of a feeling of self-efficacy, a bit of hope and a bit of optimism. However, with the help of the bloke who developed this, Fred Luthan, in the US, he's given me his stuff. I have developed a training package and now I'm testing it. I'm delivering it to nurses, to personal carers, to see whether with the training which he has developed, we can raise the level of psych cap. So what? So what? So what? It means that people will not go home so stressed that they can then come back the next day. It means that they will be able to identify something wrong with the patient much quicker. That's what psych capital does. Because if you know your own emotions, you can figure out other people's emotions. So that's my work. I am delivering positive care frameworks. Positive care in the healthcare industry, but I'm also collecting more data in policing. I use local government as my benchmark because local government employees, particularly in Australia, have very low levels of well-being to benchmark the emotional labour against. And that's it.